G'day YouTube, my name's Lance. Welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, the weather report, it's 21 to 32. It's still very humid. This morning at the moment in the doorways and that here, there's not, there's a little bit of a breeze, so it's not so bad. Usually, well, yesterday from probably 11 a.m. to probably 2:30, it was bloody hot. I went and sat up in the pool room trying to catch a bit of breeze, kick back in my chair and have a sneaky snooze. But yeah, I think I nodded off for a bit, but it certainly wasn't comfortable. And yeah, we should be coming out of this soon. This morning when I hopped up, there was nice blue sky. 32 degrees is about average for this time of year. The sky was blue, but at the moment there's a few little fluffy clouds coming over, and when they come across the front of the sun, well, the shed contracts and you can hear it creak and crackle and pop and carry on. So, but I think I have most of that dialed out. Oh shit, I still got my outside hat on. Anyway, that's just how it is today. Yeah, I've been doing a few jobs around the place. Not much in the shed last week. It was just one of those weeks. We had a working bee over at the club shipping container for one morning, and we just got all the stuff out that wasn't related to having a rally and things like that. And the other club management, like they'd go and pick up a pump and any old bit of rusty rubbish and it'd go in the container. Then to go in there was like a scarifier, and you had to walk around that, and they had to hang a hessian bag over it so no one bloody did themselves damage on it and things like that. If it was a workplace, you wouldn't have been allowed in there. You would have had to clean it up. So anyway, Jan, Ed and myself went over there through the week, and we spent a whole morning, well, most of the morning there cleaning it up and getting everything out. So I took my trailer and my ute and all the stuff that had to go inside the canopy in the back, we put in the back, and then the scarifier, we had a big pallet with hungry boards on it, and we filled the pallet, 2 hungry boards high with old pump bodies and just bits of rubbish, and so anyway, we've brought a thing in with the club now. Just because something gets donated doesn't mean we've got to take it, because people just unload their rubbish there. So so we've got the container cleaned out. I've ordered the shelving from Trade Tools. Trevor, the treasurer, he's paid for it. We got that through at a meeting. And so this week sometime when the shelving comes, I'll whiz into town and grab that and assemble it. Then Ed and Jan, they're the members that mostly have to do with the container, and they've been trying to get this rubbish shifted for years, I reckon. And anyway, they're all happy it's happening, and it's moving forward. So they'll be in charge of that now, and we just got to sign things in and out. And Jean, we got a couple of new eskies for the club, and we've been borrowing eskies off the members for sausage sizzles and that, and so we got through the club meeting that we buy our own. We had enough money to. It's just that I think Nevy, President Nevy, used to be President Nevy, I think he thought a good club was a club with lots of money in the bank, and I think a good club's a good club where the members are happy. And if we need some eskies for the club and we need a bit of shelving, let's bloody buy it, and make it easy and pleasant. And the way I think of it is like with business and all, if you want people to help and help you in your business and things like that, you've got to make it easy for them to help. And so if they want eskies and you've got to go to this bloke's place first, and can we still borrow your esky, and go to that one and all that. So we got the eskies off Anaconda, and Anaconda had them on special for $1.89 each for 70 litre eskies. And when Helen and Trevor went in to buy them, after getting it approved at the meeting, because we were a club, they gave it to us for $150 each. So if you have a club in your area, perhaps pop into Anaconda. They were very accommodating with that sort of thing. And the shelving from Trade Tools, it's usually $2.99 for a 2 metre by 600 by 1.8 high. So yeah, they're normally $2.99, and they had them on special for $2.29. So anyway, so once they come, I'll go and pick them up and get rid of them. I pulled the canopy off the back of the ute because we had to go to Tim's on Sunday morning, no, Saturday morning. Days get lost. Yeah, at the rental house in town there, we're putting 2 aircons up on the second story for the kids' bedrooms, and the tradesmen come and they said, oh, you need to clean the branches, and yeah, they needed nice clear access in there. So Jude and I went round there and did that. And got there about 7:30, 7:15, 7:30, and left somewhere around noon. And I was knackered, cutting things down, and then Jude, with the doors on the front canopy, like we'd taken the big back canopy off and just put the sides back on, and Jude was taking a while, and I was thinking, what's taking so long? Because I was pruning and getting things in a pile, and I had to rake this garden bed, and you had to hop up on these rocks to get there, and I was just wanting to shift all the rocks and have it so the tradesmen could just come in, and then any water that hit there could come away into the lawn, not towards the home there. So Jude and Arrow, they were doing the runs to home here. We'd fill up the ute, and then they'd come home here and unload it, and then head back in, and then we'd do a bit more pruning and load them up again. And we did 3 big ute loads full, and we must have done about 10 foot along the fence, I reckon, plus the tree that we had to shift. So anyway, but yeah, Jude took a while, and she come back, and here I see this ratchet strap across the top of the canopy and back down. And then what had happened is, well, I don't know what happened, but the canopy door was hanging off. And the canopies, they have this waterproof hinge on them, and this is the stuff. And it's pretty tough, but you can see that that's closed and that's open. But yeah, she tore it through here, and so that was another job. Yeah, so I had one of these one time on the fridge side, probably because of my favourite side, go a bit brittle inside there and come off one other time. So I actually kept a spare piece here. So that was yesterday. I had to get all the doors off, then get it out, and they're bastard things to put on. Like you can get this piece here sitting on top of the door that lifts, and then you got to hold the door up, and you can't use the shockies, you know, that help lift assist, because then it puts it on an angle, and you want this nice and square. And so yeah, you got to put this silicone on there and then drill up through it with a heap of self-drilling screws, and make sure you don't get the holes where they did it last time. So it'd be like Swiss cheese under there. So I got that done last night, or yesterday afternoon. And one thing I don't know if you know or not, like in Bunnings, this is just kitchen and bathroom silicone sealer. I had some roof and gutter sealer that I kept here in these little, how big are they? Does it say? It'll say there. 150 grams. So you can have these little silicone ones on the little short guns. So if you're opening up a big long one, it doesn't go off. So I got this here, and kitchen and bathroom white was just what I had here. But I had 2 roof and gutter ones here, and both of them, like they'd just been sitting behind me in the shelving, and both of them had gone off. And I'm the sort of bloke, I like to have a couple of things around. So, you know, if I need to seal something up, I haven't got to do a run to town and get it. But it turns out, it was written on here somewhere, Jude was reading out to me, that you've got to keep them below 22 degrees, and they only have a 12-month shelf life. So trying to be handy, I had 2 of these go off in my shelf. I had to chuck them in the bin. And this is just one I bought the other day. What was I doing the other day? I had to fix something the other day, and I wasn't sure how I was going to go with it, so I got some of this in case. So the one I got the other day is still good to use, but the one I had on the shelf that I thought I had spare, yeah, no good. So yeah, if you try and be prepared, yeah, you just chuck money away. Yeah. So this is for wet areas and that. I can't think of what it was for now. Oh, it'll come to me. It's probably not that important. I had a Sparex order come in through the week. Yeah, Sparex are major sponsors of our channel here, and yeah, they've been very good to us over the years. And I've got a few things. And these are some things you may not know Sparex has. Like the neoprene gloves that I should wear that I bloody don't wear. I do have some black ones, but I bought some new ones. The old ones tear pretty easy. So I thought I'll get a packet of 100 of these blue gloves and put on. These are extra large, so yeah, so I should wear them, but I don't know. You just haven't got the feel, and so. But I thought I'd get some. At least I've got some here that aren't too old and things like that, and I can use them when I need to. You know, just try and save the hands a bit. The other thing that they have is these isolating rubbers, and yeah, this one here, that's got an 8mm thread in it. I wasn't sure if I needed these ones or the ones with the bolts sticking out of them, so I've actually fitted the ones to the Starling with the bolts sticking out of them, and that worked okay. It worked pretty good, so I've got these spare now. But yeah, Sparrex has quite a range of these isolation rubbers for, you know, radiator mounts and things like that. The other thing I got, I've never had a Sparrex parts brush before. Now these brushes go in the, you know, you can put the hose from the parts washer on them, so your degrees or whatever you're using in there, yeah, the coolant comes out, and I have to pull everything apart. So yeah, so you can see the little hole through the guts there, and then this goes down through. So you can't buy this piece on the end, you've got to buy the whole thing. But anyway, I got that. And down here, I've got that. So that is a weight base. Oh. Pardon me, that's a weight base for the 135 up here. So it's a weight base for the swept axle 135. And look, I've got a 35 out the back. I think it would bolt onto the 35 as well. And my thinking with that was, I've got a couple of tie downs under the axle on the 135, and I've been thinking of putting one of them on as a bumper bar, and if I'm doing a bit of tractor trekking, it's a good place just to, you know, drop a pin in if you need a tow or something like that. And an extra bumper bar on the front, it gives you an extra tie down point, so you can actually tie off that front pin sideways. It's just something I thought I'd put on. The other week I got a front axle, a weight frame for the MF20 and the 148. I don't know, there's something out of whack with it. I was speaking to the rep, Josh, and we're going to get another one, but we haven't gone that way yet. Yeah, he must have forgot to order it because it didn't come with this order. And the other thing I got was on the Massey Ferguson 20, I still haven't fixed that bloody roof, you know, but that's coming up. If I stopped wrecking things, I could get in my shed and do some jobs that I'd like to do. But I still haven't fixed that roof because by the time we did the club shipping container one day last week, and then all the stuff out of it, the next day I picked up Jan, and we had a working bee up at the shed up at Mullet Creek there, so we didn't get home till after 2 o'clock there, and then just tidied up and things like that. Lucky I got home so I could unload the truck from Sparrex. And yeah, then Friday, we make Friday mowing day, so, and slashing, so Friday we jumped on the mower and did all the mowing, the rider mowing. I haven't done the slashing yet, which it needs doing. And we pruned a heap of the trees where it's hard to mow under, so we got the John Deere loader and dropped it all into the bucket. So so I haven't fixed the Massey 20 yet, but I was looking at the mud guards on it, and I know I've said I'm not going to paint it yet. Oh, it's bloody itching at me, but anyway, I noticed the mud guards were rotted out at the bottom, and so were the ones on the 148 that's got to come in yet and get the hydraulics fixed. So yeah, I ordered a set of Sparrex mud guards for each tractor. So they're the square top mud guards with the toolbox in the side, aftermarket ones, and I've just been over to have a look at the Massey 20 guards to see, you know, how close these ones are, and look, they're bloody good. The thing I can notice is the Massey 20, the beading or the support channel under the guard is about so wide, and on the Sparex one it's just a little bit narrower. But look, the shape's right. On the original one, you can see at the front guard where they spot welded it, there was a couple of little dimples there. Well, the aftermarket one has dimples right along, which is no trouble. They're in a red oxide finish, which is good. It's good for me storing here until I get round to them again. And so I've got a big pallet up there with a cardboard box with 4 mud guards I've got to put some bloody wear until I can get to it. And anyway, we'll see. But the Massey 20, it's been going real well, and I was sort of half thinking that I've painted the grille and I've painted the headlights, and I'm going to put an aftermarket seat on it, and I haven't finished the bracket for them yet. I might need a couple of bolts there yet, I'm not sure. But yeah, there wouldn't be an awful lot to paint the Massey 20 now because it hasn't got leaks and things like that on it, and it's doing the slashing well, and like most of the mechanical part is done. One thing I did notice out of Sparex though that I'd never noticed before was the 3.5 inch piston for the hydraulics. I noticed that they actually have one with a full circle O-ring in it, like a proper cup seal, not the piston rings, you know, with the gap in them. When I do the 148 hydraulics, I'm going to put one of those pistons in. Just to try it. I've never used one before. I didn't really know they had them until I was looking the other day, and Jude's 148, which is a tractor we're going to... we're going to do mechanically what it needs to do. It's not going to be a nut and bolt restoration like the 65 because they drag on and I have trouble getting back to them. I just seem busy. And yeah, we'll have to see with that. So, but it's just going to get what it needs, not a full restoration. It's going to be a nice tractor when it's done. But so I've got mud guards for that now, mud guards for the Massey 20. When I took the cane bins, the pallets of the cane stuff up to the shed the other week, a month ago, I hadn't noticed, but I had pushed the mud guard out a little bit because I was on one side pushing with the forklift, and I'd pushed it out just a tad, and I didn't worry about it. I just pushed it straight. But I've had a look in there now, and I can actually see a little crack down there. So today's job, before it gets too hot, is I've got to get out the front, unbolt the mud guard off the side of the trailer, which is a good thing that it's bolted on. I'm liking that, and I'm going to bang that back in place, and where I've torn it, it's about an inch on each side where the top bolt is. I've just torn it, so I need to get that off, belt it straight, weld it up, seal it with gal paint and things like that. So yeah, just so it's a good thing. Which I sort of knew I'd bent it a bit, but I hadn't realised that I'd torn it. So I was just looking at it the other day, and I can see 2 little tears. So it's my own fault for what I did there. I didn't know that the pallet was sort of just catching the mud guard. So I've got that parked out the front here at the moment. I've got the canopy off the back of the cruiser. Pardon me. But yeah, I'll try and do that in the doorway today if I can, and see if I can get it sorted out. My mate John Dudley, he's rolling in on Saturday to pick his motor up. He was going to come this last weekend back in when we first spoke about it, but chatting to him the other day, he's going to come on Saturday, and we're going to load his far more regular engine up. And he said, "Oh, what do I owe you?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know, don't worry, you know, I didn't do it for the money thing." But anyway, we've agreed on a price now, and he wouldn't mind paying me 500 more than I'm asking him. And I said, "Oh no, just don't worry about it, you know." He went down the Massey 65 rims out the back, the pressed steel centres. He got both sets of them for me. Well, I bought them, but he brought them home for me from Inverell, New South Wales, and things like that. So you're working together, and it's okay. So yeah, John's coming, so that'll be a bit of a yarn next Saturday, which is good. This week, when the shelving comes, I've got to head over to the shed, the club shipping container again. I've also got to get up to the shed up north, the club shed, and pressure clean the floor before we have a meeting up there, just make that nice and tidy. And yeah, so another busy week. I'm keeping myself very busy in this retirement, but in these hot days where I wouldn't mind hopping in the shed, well, you know, you have to mow once a week here, and it's a good 4 or 5 hours just on the mower, and I try and stay out of the heat through the middle of the day because I've got those skin cancers cut out. Look, and they've actually healed pretty well. I've got one on my face. You can see me, buddy. You can see me outside hat on. It's just an Akubra to keep the sun off me dial, because I've got one burnt out here, I've got one burnt out there and one burnt out there. So when I'm outside, I'm trying to wear the hat. I used to wear these all the time and enjoy wearing them, and I just, with the business and mechanic, and I just got used to wearing the caps that you often see me with, and yeah, I'm weaning myself back in to wearing a proper hat again. So anyway, we'll see how we go with all that. I'll take you for a bit of a walk. I did pressure clean once again. I pressure cleaned the shed because I had the opportunity. When I went up to the club shed the other day, I got my walk behind broom, so that's all back here now. Well, it was in the canopy anyway. But yeah, look, having a few hands up at the club shed there. We have another shipping container for the club up there, and we got all the junk that, like the barbecue and gas bottles and things like that were just getting dumped in there. So the old club before I took over, it was just, everything got dumped everywhere. There was no rhyme nor reason to it. It's sort of like my shed, really. But it was just everything seemed to be a mess. And so we're just tidying it up, and you know yourself, when you tidy your shed or you go into a tidy place, you feel better about it. You have a better frame of mind, and it's nicer to work where it's neat and tidy. So, but after the shed the other day, Jean and Laurie come around, and I lent Laurie a 2 1/4 socket. He's working on a lister, and he didn't have a big socket, and I had an inch drive one here, so I've lent that to Laurie. So we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, I had to do President's Report for the bloody newsletter last week. Anyway, I don't know how bloke gets so bloody busy, but anyway, with this base weight for the Massey 135, I'm going to sand that down and paint it Stoneleigh grey before I fit it, and that's going to be sooner rather than later. This weather, it's bloody humid, but then through the middle of the day where the heat is, it's probably not too bad for painting. But yeah, I think we'd have to have a fair bit of hardener in the paint just to have it set quick so it doesn't go dull. But yeah, Jude's buying me bolts. Judy and Adele are going to the town today to have a girls' morning out shopping, buggering around. So I've hit Jude up with some jobs. I started on my last pot of hand cleaner, and I like to keep a 5 litre pot of hand cleaner ahead of myself. And so I have a new one on the shelf, and I'm using one, and I actually decant it into the sauce bottles. So you can just pour it into the sauce bottle, and you just got a sauce bottle worth at a time. You can shake it to keep the grit suspended. And so yeah, Jude's going to have a look there and buy me a new hand cleaner, and buy me a few bolts for this weight frame and for the other weight frame. The other weight frames are bloody, I'm not real happy with it. You know, I was showing the Kempies the other day, not the best. I also, for the gantry, or for the jib crane that the Kempies built for me, I got a heap of Cat 2 lower link pins for that, and I've got to weld a little chain link onto one, and I've got to paint that yet, but it's just not ideal paint weather. The humidity's, well, last week you had a cloudy, shitty days, and you'd get a little bit of rain and it'd be like 0.5 mil, 1 mil, 2 mil, and it just wasn't painting weather. So I didn't do anything with that last week. I thought, well, I may as well wait until we've got time on our side, so I may as well wait until it's a nice sunny day and I can pop it outside and blow some paint on and have it looking good. So I'll actually have to have a look at the yellow. I do have some yellow paint here, so I've actually got some orange paint that was left over. It was mixed wrong for a Ellis Chalmers I had one time, and I tried to get them to match it again, and no way would they match it. Then they wouldn't bloody fix it, and so I ended up with this thing of bright orange paint. So that mightn't be a bad colour for the lifting jib. We'll just see, but I do have paint. I don't want to do it Stonely Grey, massy colours. I'd like it a brighter, industrial looking colour. So anyway, we'll worry about that later on. But look, that's about it for this week, just for the shed chat. I'll take you up and show you that mud guard. I think they're bloody nice. They've got the folded hinge in the door there, so I may even, with the roll frames on, what they used to do with the roll frames is you couldn't actually open the toolbox door on the mud guard, so a lot of people just cut them off and left it open. But then some others, if they were slashing, they'd put a rubber flap over the top so you could just lift the rubber flap up. But I'm not sure yet. Yeah, what we'll do with that. But look, I'm very happy with the guards. I bought 4 mud guards. Yeah, that's a bit of expense going on, but that's okay. The deal with Sparex is good. Doesn't cost me an awful lot to do it. But for this week, I've got to fix that trailer that I wrecked, that I buggered up. I've already done the door that we buggered up. I've fitted the Starlink bracket. I'm waiting on a power wire for the Starlink to take me from the 12 volt. We've got to boost it up to about 60 watts for the Starlink, and then I'll activate that out here and see how that goes. My HEMA Explorer, which is a GPS for 4-wheel drive tracks, it's playing up, so we might have to get that seen too. Oh, something on the go. Anyway, not to worry. All right, that's it for the day. Thanks for dropping by. I don't know what videos I'll get out this week. I'm wanting to get back into this 65, but I keep wrecking stuff. And then by the time I put a day, I'll be putting a good day a week, perhaps a day and a half a week into club stuff. And by the time I do that, then I go and break shit. I'm not getting back into the shed, so anyway, but I am. Like the other week I did this engine for John, so that took a lot of time. So yeah, look, we're going to poke along and just see what we can get done. And but I have got everything for the 65, I believe now. I do have a lot of panels to work on with that, which that mightn't be a bad job for up in the doorway and a bit of breeze too. So anyway, we'll see. But anyway, look, that's it. Thanks for dropping by. We'll catch you all next week. Yeah, stay with us. I'll take you for a little bit of a walk around, eh? Okay, I'll give you a quick scout around the shed. I've got to have a fan on to do the stew so I don't just start dripping with sweat. Yeah, I did the shed again, so that's a good thing. But up here where I've got the gantry, I keep calling it a gantry, I don't know why. Got the jib, yeah, I've got new pins for that now, but I do have to sand and paint and prime. But I do have a box here and over there full of bloody mud guards. And look, these are actually very nice mud guards. You can see they've got the hinged cover of the toolbox there, and a little clip that opens them up. And yeah, but all in all, they look good. You can see a couple of little spot wells through there, which I'll probably sand. And that there, I reckon, that's a little high. I might just tap that down just a little bit, but all in all, nothing a little bit of spray putty type stuff wouldn't be able to sort out. If we go around the back, I'll just lay it down. So that's looking pretty good. Actually, that is as wide. Those things are wide. Anyway, yeah, I'm quite happy with that. But on the trailer, I've had young Freya up here. I've been child minding. Yeah, on the trailer. Oh, that's bloody glary. There's just a little crack down in there. I'm not sure if you can see it, so I've got to fix that. I've got the canopy sitting on the back there, so I've got the door fixed on the ute. I've got the whole paddock mowed, and because we had showers, I've had the canopy over on top of the Massey 20, but that's coming off today. And yeah, we're trying to get that in. You can see that's very similar width under there, so I don't know what I was looking at before. And you can see with the roll frame, might be better this side. Yeah, with the roll frame you can't open the doors on the toolboxes, so they've put a rubber flap there. So we'll have to see with that, see what we do. But these, look, they're not too bad. They're worth doing, but I thought, oh, you know, while I have the opportunity. And I need to shift that and mow under it. I mowed around it the other day because I couldn't be bothered shifting it, but I'll get that off today. And this back frame here, that one goes into the canopy, but the front one's bent, so I might try and straighten that in the press. And these frames here, I don't know if I've got any box section to do that. So if not, I'll just ring up Queensland Tractor Spares and order a mounting kit. I think might be the way to go. I still haven't done the boards on that carryall. But yeah, we've tidied up along the front of the shed nicely. And yeah, everything else is looking okay. I'm not cleaning the back of the ute off from the pruning the other day. Look at the pile of stuff we have there. I'm not cleaning that off because Jude reckons she's got another pile after I left there the other day. She has another pile of leaves and shit to come yet, so I'll leave the back of the ute dirty, and once she's finished, well then we'll give the whole lot a bath. And I've got to put the spare wheel back on the top there because we'll have it off for a little while and do a few things like that. But I'm starting to get the ute ready for going away. Just see, when I go up the shed next, the club shed, a lot of sand and dirt's walking in, so they're little spaces I had where I had my milling machine and that, so I'm going to put a couple of them at the doorways just to try and keep some of the rubbish out, somewhere to put a little mat. So, but anyway, today, come back in, here's my favourite chair. The fan's facing the wrong way. This is what I sit here quite often and just look at the world go by when it gets a bit warm. And that's the weight frame for the loader. That's, well, for the Massey 20, I'm not keen on that, but anyway, that's it. You can see the breeze in the trees, but it's not coming in the door yet, so, and a few clouds, and that's what makes the shed a bit rattly. But there you go. We'll catch up with you next week, eh? See ya. Okay, over here now. I've pulled this open a little bit. I'll probably make a little cut, but that's what I did to the trailer. And you can see through here where the weld was, where they come in from the back there with the weld, it actually didn't weld, it didn't stick. So I think, well, I'm not sure if you can see that or not. I'll come down this other end and you can see a little bit of the weld come through here. But I'm going to have to panel beat this up, and when we come in through there, I'll put a bit of reinforcing through the back there so it can't happen again. So, and for it to crack right along the weld there, I think it was just relying on the fold here to hold it, and the weld was doing bugger all really. Another thing I may do is this here, this is where it bolts onto the chassis, and this is the folded edge there. I think I should probably fill this little piece in, because if something hits it and this wants to bend up, there's no support from here. So just popping a little bit of steel between these two items, I think would make it a bit more robust as well. Apart from that, I'm quite happy with it. But yeah, and I did this myself, hitting it. I know I did it, but yeah, that weld in there, you can see where it hasn't sort of penetrated in. So anyway, it'll be better when I finish. Well, there you go. There's the front of it, and if we come around here further, we've buttoned all this up through here. It did have a sharp edge there. I've taken that off, and we've put a bit of filler in through the back there, so that's okay. It's got a bit of zinc paint on it. It sort of matches the gal, but anyway, that's going to seal it up nicely. And yeah, I think I'll take it back outside here and bolt it on.